On November 13th, Felix Unger was asked to remove himself from his place of residence. That request came from his wife.
I can relate.
Deep down, he knew she was right, but he also knew someday he would return to her. With nowhere else to go, he appeared at the home of his friend Oscar Madison. Several years later, Madison's wife had thrown him out, requesting that he never return. Can two divorced men share an apartment without driving each other crazy?
Yes, 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 and yes. Thursday afternoon, Corey Johnson with you. Thank you, Mr. Drew Brees, number 9, for that introduction. Oh boy, it's another smoker out there. 97 degrees. That's pretty brutal. Feels like $105. I'm guessing the humidity's probably around 50%. Yeah, 48%. But not in the morning, man. When there's that dew on the grass and then the heat starts cranking up around 8 a.m. By like 9 a.m., it's a sauna. It is a sauna out there. It's hot all by itself. And then there's this, you're like in this humidity cloud that's the sun's kind of pulverizing and turning into this like vapor, and you're in the middle of it. Yeah, it's like a sauna. It's hot. Stay hydrated, people, especially if you're going outside. If you know folks that don't have air conditioning, elderly, health issues, and the like, go help them out. Get them in the car where there's air conditioning running. Bring them to a grocery store where there's air conditioning running. Community center in their neighborhood, library in their neighborhood, a big shopping mall. Sit on a bench, watch the people go by, chat for an hour or two. Go have lunch. I mean, you can burn time quickly and keep folks that are vulnerable in air conditioning, at least during these peak hours like 10 a.m. to 5, 6 p.m. Yeah, and inside, outside, wherever, stay hydrated. I'm going to knock out this entire liter of water. What do we got, Jason? About 3 spots on the entire planet that still use, what do you call the Imperial? Is that what we use? The quartz pints? The Imperial, which we got off the British, I believe, and they abandoned it for the logical metric system based off 110, 100,000. Yep. Wow. I think we like what we like, and we're not changing. Yeah, Fahrenheit versus Celsius. No, exactly. It doesn't take long to figure it out. Anyway, I'm going to drink this 33.8 ounces of water. I think that's what it is, isn't it? 33.8? Yep, 33.8, a.k.a. 1 liter. We kind of mess with it a little. Engines, we always like 5 liter. And it used to be, it's 289, dude. 302, 351 Cleveland. Not Windsor, the one with the horsepower, bruh. Anyway, no, I'm going to consume this entire, essentially 1/5 of a gallon. I think a gallon is 128 ounces. You have to remember all this crap. Gallon's 128 ounces. A pint is what? 16 ounces. A quart's 32. I'm tired. 39 inches to a meter. We'll be taking a nap now. We'll restart the program for the 5 o'clock power hour in 51 minutes. Have a great afternoon, everyone. Hey, by the way, I did say 97 feels like $105. River Cities Total Maintenance. We broadcast every day from the River Cities Total Maintenance studios. Honest air conditioning experts that come immediately. Find them at nolaac.com. Honest air conditioning experts that come immediately. What else do you need? The best in the biz. nolaac.com. They'll take care of you. nolaac.com. Boy, a lot to discuss today. Got some good guests, too. Mr. Chalmette himself, a Yaddy New Orleanian, who's been doing radio for 30 plus years in the capital city. Richard Condon from the Eagle 98.1 FM, flagship station of LSU Athletics. Richard Condon's going to join us in about 10 minutes. He's funny, and he's got all kind of takes. I definitely would say leans on the more hardcore conservative side. He's coming up in a few minutes. We'll discuss a bunch of stuff that's on the table today that I'd be discussing normally, like the World Swimming Federation. They announce a trans solution. And that's just interesting, because if someone were saying a female solution, a black solution, a gay solution, those things aren't like lifestyle choices or a mental decision that's made. Black, white, female, gay, straight. That's there's no change in the mind. A transgender person is female genetically, but is mentally male. Someone feels like that. I mean, I think it is brave to come out, brave to be. I mean, first off, the in America, the way folks judge. I mean, if I were gay, would I be brave enough to come out? How long would that have taken me? I guarantee I wouldn't have been like first mover at 10, 12, 15, 18 years old. Probably would have been dating girls and faking it for a while, but finally got the courage to come out. And that's being gay. Transgender is, hey, I'm genetically male, but I am female. Hey, I'm genetically female, but I'm telling you I'm male. I mean, why would you want to argue with someone, or, hey, you need therapy or anything like that? It's not, you have to embrace it or fully understand it, or I'm so comfortable with it. Good for you. And not everybody is, and you don't have to be. There's a lot of newness to this. I don't like the Louisiana law that we passed. I don't see the point in it. I think it's irrelevant. I can't come up with a doctor or clinic or anywhere this is happening in Louisiana. Plus the, medical folks approve this because it mostly doesn't apply to castration or something. And I don't know. You want government interfering with what doctors approve? So it's definitely a big gray area, a line that's kind of scary to cross, especially with, I mean, I don't even want to say mediocre, but I don't want to say worthless. Somewhere in between worthless to mediocre Louisiana elected officials. The 105 House reps, the 39 senators. I mean, come on. Get nothing done year in, year out. We flounder as a state and nothing changes. So these folks aren't like heroes or leaders or leading us to greatness. The opposite. You could argue more leading us to slaughter. So you want those folks coming up with that type of legislation? That just, to me, is like, no, I don't at all. Come up with something productive that, educates our kids, fixes roads, puts money in our pockets, job creation, growth, prosperity. The World Swimming Federation announces a trans solution, and this is different from black, white, gay, straight, because trans is a little different, and I'm in total agreement with this. It's to protect female athletes. I've said this from day one. You can't have transgender females competing against females in high school, college, Olympic, professional sports. WNBA, none of it. Now, all day long, you can have transgender males competing in men's sports. More power to them. Some genetically born female that transgenders over and wants to compete with men in sports, more power to them. But it doesn't work the other way around. So this is a smart move. It isn't anti-trans female. It's anti-trans female competing against females in sports. where there is a physicality involved in it, obviously. Hand-eye coordination, so many different things. Boy, a game changer. 48 years ago today. A game changer for our city. So transformational. Boy, we are in desperate need of something like this. In desperate need today of something like this. Interstate Loop, Mississippi River Bridge at Chalmette, Florida Avenue Expressway, car manufacturing plant that employs a few thousands, battery plant, something major, transformational. Like August 7th, 1975, when the Superdome opened its doors. Wow. Corey Johnson with you.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
River Cities Total Maintenance keeps you cool, New Orleans. NOLAAC.com is your cool spot.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
The French bread of the city of New Orleans. Good to the last crumb. Leidenheimer French bread.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, "Hey, what can I do to give you a hand?" And he said, "Well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place." So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Did you know Rouse's sells only Angus beef? Angus beef's natural marbling means more succulence and flavor. Whether you choose Rouse's USDA Prime, Choice, or Select, it'll be only Angus beef when you get it at Rouse's. Tastes like home.
Trey Yen in Mandeville. a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen. Hey, it's your afternoon cool down spot in the summertime. Why aren't you at Katie's right now in Mid-City? As New Orleans as it gets. In between Bienville and Canal Street, Carrollton and Doc Francis Parkway, essentially a few blocks behind Angelo Bricato's. Iberville, corner Talamacus, Katie's in Mid-City, the quintessential New Orleans neighborhood restaurant, a Mid-City mainstay. Yeah, your cool down spot. Lunch, dinner, open all day long. Folks filing in there. New Orleans characters after work. Katie's in Mid-City. Speaking of a New Orleans character, he's loud. He's brash. He's the super yacht from down into Parish. He's been doing radio in Baton Rouge, I'm guessing, for 30 plus years. You can check him out on the flagship station of LSU Athletics, the Eagle, 98.1 FM in Baton Rouge. Richard Condon joins us on the program. What's up, Richard?
Corey, everything's great, my friend. How are you?
Doing well. Yourself?
Doing good, man. It's all good. Blessed to be alive, man. Everything's great. Miss New Orleans, go back every now and then to check on Mom, but it's all good, man. Thanks for asking.
Anytime anyone mentions Richard Condon, I'm just like, I always think about great storyteller and just, I don't remember the end of the story. And you probably got 20 stories that started out this way, but you were just like, I come out of my house one morning, I'm in my robe, I'm grabbing the paper. I look up and you won't believe what I saw. And then you just go off.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I woke up in the morning. I was naked. We went out the night before. Me and the wife had a couple of cocktails. And I wake up and I hear people outside my house by the bedroom window. I'm going, what the crap's going on here? Oh, that's right. We got a little garage sale. Isn't this beautiful? I got somebody coming over here to buy a $30 pair of jeans and they want to try it on in my kitchen. So I woke up naked, went to get a swig of milk out the carton in the kitchen. Sure enough, I got a guy and his old lady in my kitchen. He's trying on a pants. I'm going, dude, they're like $1.50. Why don't you just take it home like a scratch off? Maybe you're a winner.
See, where I'm just like, man, the other night I'm on my sofa about 9 p.m. I hear a lawnmower crank up. One of my neighbors is cutting his grass. Story over. I've got to learn to add to that a little bit. Maybe the second half of my radio career.
No, I understand, man. Hey, look, man, New Orleans has been good to me. You know what, Corey? When I got out of De La Salle in 78, I guess you got out around, 85, something like that?
Yeah, mid-80s, exactly. Yep.
But you know what, man? Once they started letting the girls in, and I think the first co-ed graduation class was 93, so it all depends who I'm around now. If I'm around guys from New Orleans who knew I went to De La Salle, we just ham it up a little bit. But if I'm around other people, it all depends who I'm around. Some people I say down since they let the girls in. I went to Ben Franklin. If I'm hanging out with the smart people who are into being out like a superhero with social events, or maybe if I'm on this side, I went to ARG. I don't claim De La Salle too much anymore since they let the girls in.
Well, I remember, and it wasn't co-ed when I was at De La Salle. When it became co-ed, the other Catholic League schools were like, it's always been co-ed. That was sort of the...
No, I get it, yeah. Well, that's the guys who decided they couldn't put on what they wanted every day to go to school, so they had to wear them sissy khakis.
Hey, speaking of... You definitely do this type of stuff, but you're not shy when it comes to strong opinions. And I think especially like FM morning shows and morning zoo type shows with opinions. Right. And I think throughout history, it's been like neutral jokes. Like, I'm not saying you can't offend like a group of people like by sex, creed, race, or religion, but not politically. Now it's very partisan. And like most of talk radio, the morning zoo show type things, or, what you do, kind of half DJ, half talk host with music and stuff like that. It's conservative leaning.
Well, hey, Corey, I don't care what anybody thinks, man. I speak the truth. And if people don't like it, if they can't physically change the channel, I'll get to your house when I can or your car. I mean, look, I'm a conservative guy. My dad was an NOPD. My grandfather was a New Orleans fireman, just like, your dad's dad, your grandpa. He was a fireman. So, I mean, I was brought up in a family where you're patriotic, man. I was brought up in a family where you respect your elders. You walk curbside. The girl does. You always open the door. I'm just from a different era, man. It just scares me with the young people we have today. And I know, I'm one of those guys, get off my lawn kid. But, man, we were respectful. And we didn't want to embarrass our families. And we knew, you know what, Corey, when you and I went to school, more so me, I'm older, they had 2 fat kids in a class. Now 8 out of 10 kids in a class are fat. People talk about how damn hot it is. Look, right now, probably back in 70, we just played tackle man with the football on the streets of the channel, and we went in somebody's backyard and we drank water out of the freaking green hole. And then old man came and yelled at us, and guess what? We let the scum ring around the tub. We had so much sweat in the creases of our neck, and you know what? Our mom sewed a patch on our jeans over the knees. I don't think a kid's had a pair of pants or pad like that in 30 years.
When I was at LSU, you didn't want a patch on the knee. You want the knee exposed, and it's taken off since then. Anyway.
No, Corey, it's just a different world, man. I mean, My son's 35. I'm blessed. My daughter's 30. She was, she was the president of a sorority. I'll be married 40 years, and, New Orleans will always be home for me. I still remember when my whole family came up here with Katrina, and, people always say the accent, this and that. And, people always ask, how do you get away with what you're saying? Well, I'm blessed. I work for a great family-owned company, locally owned. Radio in the United States now is getting so corporate. I got guys who dress up like superheroes, and they play Dungeons and Dragons with their buddies trying to tell me, what to say on the air. I don't have that problem. And when that day comes that corporate takes over my radio group, which is guaranteed, which I love them, as you well know, Gordy and Flint Foster and a lot of great people.
Yep.
When that day comes, I'm out. But it's good. I'm 63. So I know the timing of when it's good for me to step away, it'll be a mutual decision.
Hey, Richard, when did you get your start in radio?
Man, the crazy thing, let me share this with you. Brother Andrew with De La Salle, and I didn't get good grades. I don't think, by the way I speak, I think people could tell. I just wasn't that guy. I wanted to graduate from De La Salle in 78, go to LSU, chase skirts, drink beers, flunk out, come back home, and do what, every dad, every kid did in the channel back then. Your dad was either a longshoreman, a plumber, a fireman, or an NOPD. And that's what I was going to do, one of those. And I went to LSU, and Brother Johnson, when we met, counselor junior, he goes, Rich, what you going to do? I said, I'm going to LSU. What are you going to major in? He says, take this curriculum home and look through it. And I looked through it. The only thing that didn't involve a math, the only thing was broadcast journalism.
Yep.
So that's what I did. And, they say everybody's biggest fear is speaking in front of people. And I just enjoyed it so much. And I just stumbled into this, man. I never meant to do this. And it's one of those things where I hear young people say, I don't know what I want to do in life. I'm so frustrated. Should I go to a junior college? Should I learn a trade? Should I do this? And I tell these young people, man, I'm 63 and I still don't know. But you're going to find yourself in life just doing what was meant for you to do. And that's what this is.
What was the first gig on radio?
Man, the weirdest thing, Corey, we had just got married. And my wife, extra money, we're a young couple. We don't have anything. And she was working at the mall, like in a gift wrap. She had a full time, but she would do that a couple of times a night because she wanted to. And this woman she was working with said, man, my husband produces this cable show in Baton Rouge called Sports Rap, and he needs somebody to do it. The guy who was hosting it before me, Corey, got arrested. When he left the show one night, FBI was there. He was embezzling money from his company. That's going back to 85. And the guy called me, and he said, man, would you? I said, no way. The way I talk, my attitude, I'm not getting on TV. And the funny thing about it was, I said, you know what? One day I may have a child, and I can give him the half-inch tape, the VHS, and say, look, Dad was on TV one day, and let me show you how easy people have it today. And you know it in radio. You and I, when we started in this business, there was no internet. You had to wait for the one-eye Isuzu pickup with 400,000 miles to drop that paper on your lawn. That was it. We couldn't get on the internet and Google and go to ESPN.com and FoxNews.com and MSNBC.com. We didn't have that. So you had to be creative, because I'm talking about doing a 3-hour, 4-hour show in the middle of the summer. You just couldn't rely on somebody handing you internet material, And then I'll never forget, the guy who did the show, the producer, said, look, Sue Gunner's going to be your guest. So I had to go to LSU, get the hard copies, print out, which she did, boycott the Olympics in 80. She was mad because she was going to be the U.S. coach. So I go in there. It's just a one-camera set. Sue's here. I'm next door. We do the 1 hour show, and that was it for me, and I thought it went pretty good. And the late Sue Gunner said, man, how long you been doing this? I said, about an hour. I started at 7, and it just ended at 8. And that led to J-Bo being a flagship station of LSU. Then they called me, and that led to radio from this station to that station. So it's just all been, one thing to the next. It's never been anything planned. So, like a lot of things in life, man, you got to get a little lucky. You got to outwork the guys who think they're better than you.
So for almost 35, going on 40 years, you've been doing this.
I started, if you can count the LSU station, but I won't. But as far as actually doing it, it goes back to 85.
Wow. That's unreal. And continuously doing it.
Yeah, man, I've been blessed. People ask me all the time, so how do you say what you say? I said, look, I couldn't start out in this business today. It's a different world, good or bad. It's what it is. The reason why I'm able to do it is because I've always been consistent and I've stuck to my beliefs. I've never wavered. And people know, hey, he's been doing it for 30-something years. That's what it is. If you don't like it, then just turn the channel. And over the years, there's been a lot of bumps and a lot of things. A couple of things I wish I could take back, but it's live radio, man. You just learn and move on.
Yeah, there's no doubt. No doubt. Hey, Richard, you want to tackle some political type topics when we come back?
Yeah, I'll do my best, whatever you want.
Yeah, you're right. Richard Condon's with us. Corey Johnson with you on a hot Thursday afternoon. 97 degrees, feels like $1.05. Stay hydrated, people. Coming right back. Don't move.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
For over 20 years, serving healthy, fresh, authentic Middle Eastern cuisine, Lebanon's Cafe. In the Carrollton section of Uptown on the streetcar line. Wednesday through Monday, 11 a.m. to 9:30. Lebanon's Cafe.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex, there's something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
1970 was an exciting time in New Orleans. The first Jazz Fest was held, the city hosted its first Super Bowl, and the first Helm Paint location opened on Earhart Boulevard. While the floppy disks, mood rings, and pet rocks may have come and gone since the 70s, Helm Paint has grown to become your premier source for quality Benjamin Moore products, competitive pricing, and personal service. Please visit one of our locations today and we'll meet our competitors' prices on any identical product. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday afternoon. I guess, Richard, I could ask you, what do you think of this LGBTQ law that was passed in the legislature? But I'll probably lead into the question with my opinion. Why do we waste time on the legislature doing stuff like this instead of stuff that actually is meaningful? I don't think there's a doctor, hospital, anywhere in Louisiana doing any of this extreme stuff that the legislature seems fixated on. Your thoughts?
Corey, I want to be careful because I'll tell you, I just don't understand it. It may have been there when you and I were kids, but it was hidden. It was oppressed. I mean, I just don't know. I mean, I know quarterback in Terrytown Irish and the Harvey Bulldogs, we didn't have any trans guys on the team as far as I know, but if we did, we didn't talk about it. So I can't relate to it. I didn't grow up in this era where it's, where young people have a problem with the private parts God gave them. I mean, I just can't relate to it. I don't understand. Luckily, I have 2 children. I don't have to worry about that or concern myself with. Just do you. Just do you. The thing I don't like about the situation, and I don't care if you're heterosexual, I don't care whatever 3 letters in the alphabet you go by. It doesn't matter. Just don't promote it. I don't care about it. Don't sell it on bumper stickers. I'm an F5 heterosexual bumper stick, okay? Just do you. I don't put a flag on my bumper. I don't need to promote what I do. That's the only thing. And with all of these companies, man, Target and Budweiser, and you name them, all going woke. Well, you see what that's done. I mean, you're blasting Jason Aldean for doing, in a small town, whatever. Try it in a small town. Everybody gets paranoid today. Everybody gets their feelings hurt. Whatever a young person, middle-aged, senior citizen wants to do, they can roll around on this screen wearing zebra horses outfits. I don't care. It's the stuff where the legislators should stay out of it. We get in as a delicate issue when it's young people as far as medical care. I am not smart enough. I'm not in-depth enough to know much about it. I'm just saying people my age, give it take a few years, we weren't raised in this environment. We weren't educated in this environment. So we need to kind of show a little bit compassion to families that are dealing with it, are going through it, and people who decide to live their life however they want to live it. I just don't want to promote it on billboards that I got to see. I don't want to be promoted across my TV every night. I don't want to do that. But then again, when you say stuff like that, people label you. That's what's crazy about the world today. Just because I have an opinion doesn't mean I have any, ill will towards you. I want you to live your life and be happy in yourself and with the people you surround yourself with. Just stop the whole national marketing and promotional campaign.
The Bud Light thing is really amazing to me. All right, first off, I think Bud Light's terrible. I mean, how it's been #1 beer in America for 20 years. But, we like the filet for the steak. That's the least flavorful. We like the boneless, skinless, white meat chicken breast, which is least flavorful. And we like light beer, not real beer. So, whatever, America's America. I could give a crap. But what's funny is if I did like light beer, I mean, you basically would have to have Adolf Hitler promoting the product for me to stop drinking it. How people run from something they drink and like that they've embraced for decades that they like because some transgender connection. And then the opposite, Richard, which blows me away. I like a song that I like. I don't gravitate to a song all of a sudden because, hey, it said they like Corey Johnson's show and Richard Condon's show. I'm going to listen to that song all of a sudden. I mean, Aldean's song had no traction. Now it's like number one on the Billboard chart. I mean, it yells two things. People like that, I don't know if they have taste. I mean, they're running from Bud Light and they're embracing a song that they didn't originally like. That's strange to me.
Hey, Corey, I remember being 12. My old man said, hey, look, don't tell your mama, but you got a C- or better on a paper. He slipped me a 6-ounce Miller Pony. I mean, I'm old school. Or I went to my grandpa and he says, well, don't show your grandma, but here, I hadn't finished the rest of this Pabst Blue Ribbon. You take it. So, I mean, this whole beer thing, well, I don't care. If I was a Bud Light drinker, I'm not sure I'd go, all right, I'm worried about this little nitty, so I'm going to stop drinking my favorite beer. I'm not impacted by what other people do. I'm going to still drink the beer I want to drink. I'm going to still go to that restaurant, no matter who votes for this person and that person. So, yeah, I don't get that whole thing where I'm going to stop doing what I enjoy because of a TV commercial or because, the owner thinks this. The owner's promoting Biden. He hates Trump, whatever. If the food's good and you're nice to me and you appreciate my business and the service is good, that's all I'm worried about.
No, I swear. I could go in a restaurant that I'm like, Richard, the potatoes are great and that steak's unreal. The dude's a huge Trump fanatic. Richard, the guy loves Biden. I could care less. I would be telling you the potatoes are great and the steak's good. Exactly.
Now, Corey, I will tell you, if it's two restaurants next to one another with the same menus, the same quality service.
Well, then you pick whichever you politically like.
I'd go to the conservative one, but I'm not going to not go to a restaurant just because the owner and, some of the people who dine there had different political.
Well, no, that's like, you're drafting a player and all things are equal and one's from Oregon and one's from LSU. You're going to pick the LSU guy. It's just your preference. You have a connection to that. The liberal guy's going to go in the other one. But, yeah, the normal person, liberal or conservative, going to go to the one that has the best steak and potatoes. But, no, I get it. It's just strange. Hey,
Corey, there was a time, man, if it was the 801 Club in the channel or Parasols back in the old days, but, man, you went in there and talked about, man, what, you like Abramowitz? You want Kilmer? You want Bobby Smith? I mean, it was stuff that we just talked about every day. And, man, I don't remember my dad getting into it with guys when my mama would say, hey, go grab your dad out of the ballroom. It's time for supper. I mean, they were talking about what LSU's going to do and McClendon can't beat Alabama and what the hell is going on with Tom Field. I mean, it was that kind of conversation. Oh, you know what? Man, I can watch Morgan and Chopley every night. Hey, you know what? I still have my Mr. Bingle doll. It wasn't so damn complicated.
No, but also that strange looking woman you overlooked.
Things we get involved with.
Also, that strange-looking woman you overlooked at Parasols was originally a genetic dude, so you just didn't think about it too much. Hey, this is kind of interesting. The World Swimming Federation, they called it the trans solution, which I think is applicable in this spot. I don't think you could say the black solution, the female solution, the gay solution, the white solution. But the trans solution, it's about protecting female athletes. They're going to have an open category for trans swimmers. I have no problem with a transgender male wanting to play with genetically born men, but I do have a problem with transgender females that were genetically born male playing female sports. That can't happen on a competitive level.
Well, you know what I mean? John Bell's off his rocker, man. And wait, he has a granddaughter, maybe at the collegiate level competing or high school level, and all of a sudden some trans dude is changing in front of his granddaughter. Then it would be a whole different ball game, man. Hey, Corey, talking about that topic, LSU basketball is struggling on the male side. I know McMahon, he's got some things to do. But, man, it was one time this past season on the air, I said, man, I wish Angel Reese and Carson and Flo J. I wish they'd go up to Coach Mulkey, like that Sunday. Hey, for one day we want to identify as a guy and help the men's team.
They could have used it, especially once that season ran on. Hopefully McMahon gets it going right. That women's run was unbelievable, Richard. What Gunter's done. I mean, what Sue Gunter, what you mentioned her earlier, what Kim Mulkey's done. Hey, LSU first football practice was today, a fall camp. In just 1 year, I mean, I love 2019, Richard, don't get me wrong, but the more you look at it, it's sort of a lightning in a bottle for Coach O. I know locals don't like that. They love to love the coach, one of their own. I get it. I'm 25% Cajun. I'm a South Louisiana boy. I get it. But those last 2 years of Coach O, almost like a blueprint on how to wreck the program that had been on cruise control for a couple of decades, essentially. Brian Kelly in year 1 turns it around. Year 2, it's all of a sudden like could contend for a national championship, an SEC title. I mean, unbelievable what this guy's done.
Well, you know what? One thing about it, and you talk about practice. Yeah, they practice today for the first time. They'll practice in pass next week. But about practice, all of these media types, they go out there.
Oh, exactly.
Practice. Who's running with the ones? Who's running with the twos? Corey, I've said it for years. The only practice report I want, if one of these 3 things doesn't happen, I don't want to hear your silly willy practice report. If not a first or second teamer quits the team, not a first or second teamer severely injures themselves where they'll miss playing time, and unless the first or second team gets handcuffed and dragged off the practice field, I don't care. I don't care who's looking good, who's looking quick. Seems like he's a little bit behind.
No. We got games coming up in the preseason.
22 years of age. A day to this day next week was like a year.
Yeah.
I'll let the coaches earn their money. They can decide who deserves playing time, who should start, how they're going to use them in their system. But I'm not worried about being a grown man going out to a practice looking good with a little laminated media tag around their neck so their buddies can see them and tell me back home who looks good at practice.
No.
I'll let you know when I'm spending all of that money, when I'm getting home 5 hours after the game, and I'm dealing with concession prices. I'm not worried about how a kid looks in practice. I want to see how he looks in front of 103,000.
Or a kid that's never going to make the play for the team necessarily, or an NFL player that's going to be cut. No, it's so true. Richard, I enjoyed it. Next time, we'll discuss that same take you just had. I'm driving to the recruiting bash, and you just went off on the folks at the recruiting bash about 20 years ago. It was hysterical.
I got my purple bike shorts pulled up to my nipples. I got my LSU cap with the paws. I'm pulling the strings, and I got my Velcro tennis shoes with Mike the Tiger's head on the side.
Richard.
Hey, Corey, I got to mention one thing, man. One last thing. And again, thanks for your time. Like I told you, I watch you on Cock 4 here in Baton Rouge every day at 4. I got to give a quick shout out to the De La Salle freshman class of 74 because next year it'll be 50 years, the last freshman class that had to go through an entire initiation process. Then little ninny parents complained in 75 and they quit it.
You probably still have your beanie to this day. Richard, thanks.
Take care, buddy.
That's Richard Condon joining us live from Baton Rouge. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday afternoon.
What actually lasts a lifetime? Not much, but at Helm Paint, we have something guaranteed to last a lifetime. Benjamin Moore's Regal Select. This paint and primer in one offers cutting-edge waterborne technology, smooth application, and long durability. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, your New Orleans paint store.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets has daily lunch specials Monday through Friday, and their entire lunch menu is available too. Open 11 a.m. through 2:30 p.m. For the finest in Sicilian and Italian cuisine, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa, and now 5 area locations. New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville, the Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSA.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSAgency.com.
Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
For over 120 years, New Orleans' very own Leidenheimer French bread.
The official afternoon talk show of the city of New Orleans. It's Corey Johnson on the neutral ground.
You can say anything you please about me, but don't say anything bad about Blue Boy.
Down, Blue Boy. Good buddy.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. Thanks so much for joining us on this Thursday afternoon. Got a lot to cover. The 5 o'clock power hour coming your way in just a few minutes. Wow, can you believe Hyundai and Kia have a recall? They want you to park your vehicle outside because it might catch fire. But in New Orleans, they're saying park it inside. Chances are better that it'll get stolen parked outside than actually catching fire and burning down your garage. Oh, boy. 97 degrees feels like 105. That means keep your animals inside in the air conditioning. Don't leave the house for a few hours in the middle of the day and leave your dog in the backyard or tethered up. Bring them inside the house. Don't have to have a kennel inside the house. You can, but you don't have to. My dog's got free roam of the house. I essentially pay the mortgage. It's Tolly's house. No, if you have an animal, it's not a TV set. It's not a material item. It's a living, breathing, feeling creature. Treat it humanely. We do a poor job of that in Louisiana. So much so where educated people won't get a breeder's license, but won't follow the law and spay and neuter their pets. Strange. Where cockfighting and dog fighting still exists on a pretty substantial level in Louisiana. We should have zero tolerance for that. No, there are people, it's sinful. This Cajun Classic in Crowley at the Rice Center, connecting Cajun to that, nothing classic about it. But they're people that are Cajun that want to claim cockfighting or dogfighting is part of Cajun culture. It's insulting to Cajun culture. Cockfighting and dogfighting have nothing to do with Cajun culture. It's an incidental of Cajun culture, any other culture that would claim it anywhere in America. But in Louisiana, it is ridiculous that it still exists, and ridiculous that people can be so cruel. Jeff Dorson, Humane Society of Louisiana, always working for us, saving dogs and cats and kittens and puppies and goats and horses and all kind of animals from inhumane treatment, from suffering, from even death. Jeff Dorson joins us on the program. What's up, bro?
Hey, Corey, you are my favorite host, and I appreciate the minutes you give us each and every Thursday to talk about the only thing I'm capable of talking about intelligently, and that is pretty simple. Can we please be kind to animals? No brainer there. Doesn't take a lot, but it takes some effort. I'll tell a quick story if I may.
Please.
Washington Parish, city of Franklinton, we get a tip, a horse profoundly underweight, a Palomino stud in the middle of a field with nothing, just walking around in a daze. We contact the owner and the sheriff. We all coordinate. I talked to the owner. He bought the horse in 2006. That's 17 years ago. Turned him out to pasture and has never groomed it, vaccinated it, Coggins tested it, floated its teeth, which means filed them down because horses have a tendency to grow their teeth so they can't chew properly and grain falls out of their mouth, or trimmed his hooves. 17 years without being groomed, cared for, brushed, hugged, interacted with, just walking around aimlessly for 17 years.
Wow.
We took the horse today. We got a vet out there. First time it's been touched by a vet in his whole life. He's 19.
Wow.
So it's a great day, but also tragic. 17 years a bit late. Like, neighbors, please do a little bit better than call 17 years later.
Why did the guy have the horse, and why did he treat him that way? Like, what? I know you didn't ask him like in a mean way, but I'm sure y'all inquired.
I did. He said his previous owner was mistreating him, and I'm afraid broke out laughing, saying, well, you repeated it.
Yeah.
You didn't do that horse much of a favor. Oh, I sure did. He was in a little tiny stall. He could hardly turn around. I said, okay, well, you still didn't do much. Turning a horse out to pasture without any interactions is a horrible way to treat any animal.
What's the future? What's the future for this horse? Horses can live to about 30, right?
The horse is, 2 plus 17, 19 years old. He's got lots of life still. He's in terrible shape. You can look at him on our Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter. He'll be all over the internet soon. We got to get him a catchy name because he's almost like organically decaying. If you don't take care of another creature, they don't have the ability to. They need to be groomed all the time, bathed, no fly protection, no ointment, nothing, no sun protection. He's just rotting in a field. So he will bounce back. And today is a great day for him and for us. So donate to him, the Palomino stud. We'll give him a name. Maybe we'll name him Corey. Both studs. So donate to humanela.org.
Yeah, you're getting me laughing now. humanela.org. humanela.org. Jeff, we got about 30 seconds. Quick, the dogs in the pail and the puppies left in front of the Shreveport shelter. What's the ear cut off of one of the dogs?
Yep. I can't tell much about it, but it's an active investigation. We're talking to the sheriff tonight or tomorrow, more next week.
Making progress, though.
There's something, yes, we got something that we can definitely work with.
Jeff, always a pleasure, brother. Guess who loves that you come on the program? There he is.
Yep. That must be Blue Boy.
Yep. Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks, Corey, for everything.
humanela.org. Please donate. Let's save that horse, huh? HumaneLA.org. That's all the time with Jeff. HumaneLA.org. Donate now.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson. On TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube. On radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers Breitling time, 5 p.m.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
5 generations, family owned and operated. Leidenheimer French bread.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, let us do you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
Here's New Orleans native son, Corey Johnson.
New Orleans City Councilman Freddie King joins us.
So I want to first say thanks for having me. And believe it or not, man, I used to listen to your show all the time driving home. So it's an honor to be on.
Freddie, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. It's an honor to have you on the program. Thanks.
The official afternoon talk show of the city of New Orleans. It's Corey Johnson on the neutral ground, where New Orleans is heard.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baton in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. On Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique. In Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets, taste like home.
It's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process, I have a test that says if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Another challenge for the Green Hornet. His aide, Cato, and their rolling arsenal, the Black Beauty. On police record,
have
they wanted
carpal tunnel syndrome.
The Green Hornet is really
just
Britt
imagining
Reed, owner-publisher of the
those
Daily
chunky
Sentinel.
little
His dual
fingers
identity
of
known
Jumbo
only
Al
to his
Hurt
secretary and to the district attorney.
flying
And
back and
now,
forth on
to
that
protect
trumpet.
The rights and lives of
Just
decent
imagining it
citizens
is giving me
rides the
carpal
Green
tunnel
Hornet.
syndrome. It's the Green Hornet. Or for you young kids, Kill Bill, Volume 2. Yeah, you right. Drew Brees, number 9, future first ballot Hall of Famer, is correctamundo. It is indeed New Orleans, Louisiana, United States of America, Western Hemisphere, planet Earth, Milky Way galaxy. We're rolling till 6 p.m. Yeah, you right. 5 o'clock power hour on a hot Thursday. 97 degrees. Feels like $1.05. Uh-oh. I was reaching for my water, Jason. I left it in the other room. Oh, no. Mommy. Hey, we're canceling the program. I don't have my water. My mommy's going to pick me up in the station wagon out back in just a few minutes. We'll see you tomorrow at 4 o'clock. I'm cross. Hey, the 5 o'clock power hour on a Thursday afternoon brought to you by wonderful Trey Yen in Mandeville. They're open. You on the causeway? 626-4476. That's the number at Trey Yen. 626-4476. Why don't you fire in a big to-go order? The kids, mom and dad, who isn't happy when you walk in the door with a big to-go order from Trey Yen? Curbside delivery, pull right in front. They walk it right out to you. You don't even leave your vehicle. 626-4476. Or better yet, dine in at Trey Yen. So good. At the foot of the causeway, you North Shore folks, you know where it's at. You South Shore folks, 25 short minutes from Lakeside Shopping Center, and you're pulling right up to the front door. Trey Yen in Mandeville. It's not Chinese food. It's Chinese cuisine. Trey Yen in Mandeville. So good. Former President Donald Trump arrested today in D.C. His arraignment. An arraignment is when you go to court to face criminal charges. Engaged in an effort to steal the 2020 presidential election, taken into custody by the U.S. Marshal Service, fingerprinted today. That's his third indictment, his third arraignment. This one in D.C., New York City, the hush money to the Playboy model, Miami, mishandling classified documents in his Florida estate. Former President Donald Trump arrested today, arraigned in D.C. No fingerprinted, no booking photo taken because they've already got a photo of the president. The World Swimming Federation announces a trans solution to protect female athletes, an open category. I guess it'll be transgender females, transgender males. They'll have their own swimming category, can swim against other transgender females, other transgender males. And I would think those would be separate categories. I have no problem with a transgender male competing in men's sports. More power to those people. But I do have a problem with transgender females competing against females at the, high school level, college level. I mean, it really wouldn't apply to high school, college, pro level, Olympic level. No, I have no problem with that. I don't see how a transgender female would have a problem with that. Wanting to play sports with other females, I think that would be easy. You just join leagues and stuff. But if someone has a problem with, hey, I don't care that you're transgender, more power to you. I think it's brave and courageous. But this is an all-women's league. You're a transgender female. And in sports, you have a physical advantage. Testosterone therapy or not. Or I shouldn't say that. It would be hormone therapy. No, it's just you have a physical advantage. And this is an athletic event where physicality is key. So I don't think anyone that kind of is a righteous person that tries to understand things, why would I have a problem with someone that is born male and just feels female, compelled that they're female? Well, go for it. I think it's brave as hell, courageous. It's not easy to comprehend. It's not the easiest thing to digest. You don't have to be fully comfortable with it. But I think to fight it, be against it, is illogical and insane. But also, I think anyone that's a transgender female athlete, they should realize, I was born male. So I have a physical advantage over these females. Like that college swimmer. He was very mediocre on his own team, very mediocre in the country, ranked 200th. And on the female side, he's number one. She's number one. Because she is a transgender female that was born male. So I think the trans solution, I think that's a correct term when discussing female athletes. Transgender female athletes. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You know what's great about this program? I don't have all the answers at all. I try to be informed. I try to give strong opinions based off of information I get, facts that I get that I feel lead to a logical conclusion. I can be wrong. I am wrong all the time. Anyone out there that has a take on this, love to hear from you. Good, bad, indifferent. 766-9480. Rouse's Markets phone lines are open. 766-9480. As a matter of fact, I've got some $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates to give away. I'm going to give the answer to this question because it's a holdover from last week. Southport Hall. River Road at the Parish Line. Original use. We got the answer. A casino. Salvation Army store right down the street. Jefferson Highway at the Parish Line. Across the street from that Lowe's by the Sewage and Water Board. Original use of that building. Give me the answer to that. I got 50 big bucks for you at the Woodhouse. I'm going to give the answer to that by 6 o'clock if we don't get an answer on that holdover question from last week. Louisiana born and raised, a blues legend, has made Chicago his home for 65 plus years, has a club named after him in Chicago. A great guy, a Louisiana native, born and raised in Louisiana, a blues legend in Chicago, a blues legend in Louisiana, was here till he was 21. No, a really great guy. His birthday was Monday, 87. Who am I talking about? Give me the answer. I got 50 big bucks for you. Good at the Woodhouse Day Spa. 5 area locations. Where does the mighty Mississippi River start? Where's the starting point of the mighty Mississippi River? Give me the answer to that. 50 big bucks for you at the Woodhouse. Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. 766-9480. World's oldest continuously operated streetcar line. I want the specific line. Give me the answer to that. 50 big bucks at the Woodhouse is yours. 766-9480. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 504-766-9480. Speaking of Rouse's, they've been at it for over 60 years. South Louisiana and New Orleans grocery store. I love the Rouse's branded stuff, the Rouse's labeled stuff. I did a little taste test with this Rouse's extra virgin olive oil that it was about 10 bucks. The Cola Vita was about 19 bucks. Same amount. Same exact color. Poured them onto two separate plates. Same exact thickness, viscosity, whatever you want to call it. Same flow. Same exact color. Same exact taste. I'm doing the Pepsi challenge and couldn't figure it out. I think one of those three Rouse's labeled, they got like three different levels of extra virgin olive oil. I think one of them's Cola Vita from Italy. Fantastic at half the price. Best quality, best selection. Yes, best price. Your Rouse's Markets. Corey Johnson with you on a hot Thursday.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, "Hey, what can I do to give you a hand?" He said, "Well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place." So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations, New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore led us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
Served in New Orleans' finest restaurants, Leidenheimer French bread.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. for more than 125 years, Portnola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Rouse's Markets phone lines are open, 504-766-9480, 766-9480. Former President Donald Trump arrested in D.C. today, arraigned, engaged in an effort to steal the 2020 presidential election, allegedly, taken into custody by the U.S. Marshal Services, fingerprinted, booked and arrested. His third indictment, arraignment, New York City, hush money to the Playboy model, Miami, mishandling classified documents at his Mar-a-Lago estate. Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. I'll watch about 20 minutes of that tonight. I'll watch about 5 minutes on Fox. I'll watch about 5 minutes on CNN. I'll watch about 5 minutes on Newsmax. I'll watch about 5 minutes. What's the other one? Newsmax and what's Cuomo on? I forget. There's another network on Cox. It's like Newsmax is 52. Cuomo's station where he's on is like 53. I forget what it's called. I've watched about 60 seconds of Cuomo. I'll check out a little MSNBC. I'll do a little consensus, but about 20 minutes. News Nation. Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Jason. That's where Cuomo is now. Lots of outlets. Is One American News still around? I think they went bye-bye, huh? I think Newsmax and News Nation kind of are still viable. I think One American News is done. Maybe not. Still around? Hyper fledgling. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday afternoon. Yeah, you right. Boy, this was a game changer for New Orleans. Transformative. We desperately need some project like this today. I talk to Michael Heck about this all the time. I'll talk to him tomorrow about it. You know, something significant in the metro area that everyone benefits from, that everyone sees being constructed and built, changing the landscape, potentially changing the city. We need a transformative project. It could be something like an interstate loop, a Mississippi River Bridge at Chalmette, Florida Avenue Expressway to Chalmette, to St. Bernard Parish. Sadly, I think you'd have a bunch of folks in the parish not wanting any of this. The ferry's just fine. We don't want the container port, but if you want to expand one of these cancer-causing plants, we're all for it. Sometimes I just don't get folks in Metro New Orleans. No, there's supposed to be a Mississippi River Bridge at Chalmette. I-510, Mississippi River Bridge going into Algiers, connecting to an extension of I-49 that's supposed to be the West Bank Expressway from the Superdome across to the West Bank all the way to Kansas City, Missouri, I-49. Still waiting on that, major parts of that in Louisiana. The Lafayette to Shreveport section opened when I was at LSU, probably around 88, 89, 90. No, we need something transformative, something huge. It would be great if it was a private transformative entity like, my God, We landed a 4,000 employee car battery plant on I-12 outside of Hammond, in between Hammond and Covington. 4,000 employees, a Ford battery plant, a Mercedes-Benz manufacturing facility, a Hyundai battery plant, whatever. Something huge, transformative. Microsoft is bringing 1,000 jobs to downtown New Orleans, something transformative. I haven't seen anything like this. The post-Katrina flood protection, the $14 billion in levees and pumps and all those upgrades are fantastic, but that's not something that benefits us like where we're making money from it. The education's improved in the city. The roads are better. It's necessary. We have to have it. I'm glad it's there. It's an awesome system. It protects our city. A game changer, transformative. 48 years ago today, they cut the ribbon, they opened the doors at the Superdome in 1975. Dave Dixon, Governor McKithen, John McKithen. Thank God for those two guys. Dave Dixon is a saint. I mean, if there's a New Orleans Wall of Fame, Hall of Fame, Dave Dixon needs to be on it. I love the Dave Dixon road or street around the dome, but Dave Dixon deserves a lot more. Dave Dixon was an underrated civil rights leader, never, ever recognized as a civil rights leader, and he was exactly that. Going to bat for black folks in New Orleans as a successful white businessman from the late 50s into the early 60s and beyond. Very unpopular with a lot of white people. A bunch of idiots, a bunch of racist type people, small thinkers. Not Dave Dixon, wasn't racist, the opposite, and was a huge thinker and got things done. Was the idea guy and had the wherewithal to get it done. That's a rarity. Either you're the idea guy or you're the, X's and O's guys that can grind it out and get it done. Usually an idea guy needs a business guy together as a partner to get it done. Dave Dixon was both. World Team Tennis, the United States Football League. These are all Dave Dixon created things. The Superdome, bringing the Saints to New Orleans. Dave Dixon, 110%. The father of the Dome, the father of the Saints. The Superdome was a transformative building. Just, we did it right. There was pressure to build it in New Orleans East. There was pressure to build it in the suburbs. And business leaders like, we already have the infrastructure. The downtown, if you come from all different directions to come to downtown already, let's put it downtown. Let's widen Poydras Street from Claiborne to the river. No, Poydras Street, my God, if you think about the 15 years or so from 1972, roughly, to about 1987, you had the Superdome and about 25 high-rise buildings constructed, office towers and hotels, about 25 in that 15-year period from 1972 to around 1987. The entire modern skyline of New Orleans, all of it, 90% of it plus today, built from 1972 to 1987 in that 15-year period, including the Superdome, the modern, version of Jackson Square and St. Louis Cathedral. That's our historic monument. That's a calling card. Anyone in the world sees Jackson Square and St. Louis Cathedral, they know it's New Orleans. And the Superdome is our modern calling card. People see that and they know it's New Orleans. No, iconic. Transformative. We so desperately need something like that in Metro New Orleans. so desperately. The airport was nice. It replaced the old airport. It's state-of-the-art. It's great. We need something transformative like the Superdome opening its doors 48 years ago today. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday. I'll never forget walking in there. First time ever. It was lucky. Came out of a portal at the terrace level. And as a child, just blown away. How far away the other side of the stadium was. The replay screens, all of it. Hey, TV audience, we'll see you tomorrow, straight up 4 o'clock. 4 to 5:30, Cox Channel 4, Spectrum 333, mañana. Radio audience, thanks for finding us. Spread the word, oh so fine. 93.9 FM. Live streaming every day. CareTalks.com, 2 big hours, 4 to 6 o'clock. We're on YouTube. Corey Johnson, Neutral Ground. Corey spelled Kaare. Check out our YouTube channel, The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson. Click to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Doesn't cost a thing. Spread the word. Send that link to a friend or family member, would you? Corey Johnson, Neutral Ground on YouTube. Yeah, you right. 97 degrees. Feels like 105. Like I'm doing on air. Stay hydrated. Lots of water. H2O. Former President Donald Trump arrested today in D.C. around 3 o'clock our time, 4 o'clock D.C. time. An arraignment, which means basically, when you're arraigned, you're going to court to face criminal charges. Trump's criminal charges, engaging in an effort to steal the 2020 presidential election. When you're indicted, there is a grand jury. So, like, this is the president, and this is Biden trying to oust Trump and all of this. A lot of this is, I think Georgia is their own state doing it. But when someone's indicted, there is a grand jury that hears evidence, and they decide if it's credible or not, if it's realistic enough, if they think a crime was committed, then and only then do they indict. Former President Donald Trump, this is his third indictment, his third arraignment. Today in D.C. for engaging in an effort to steal the 2020 presidential election, allegedly. In New York, allegedly, hush money to a woman he slept with. In Miami, allegedly mishandling classified documents at his Mar-a-Lago estate. This is kind of an undeniable, I mean, you don't want to say fact because it's polls, but there's history involved in this. It appears Donald Trump is the Republican presidential candidate. Ron DeSantis is more than 3 times back in the latest polls. Donald Trump, 54%. DeSantis, 17%. Donald Trump, 54%. DeSantis, 17%. Trump has more than 3 times the votes. DeSantis is at about 30% of Trump. 37 points ahead for Donald Trump. I know anything can happen, but conventional wisdom, just logic and following polls, which have a margin of error and can be wrong, but reputable polls really aren't wrong, and the margin of error proves it. There's too many examples. I think you would be kind of foolish to think that DeSantis or somebody else that we don't know about, Sununu or someone's going to come into this race and they're going to knock Donald Trump, unseat Trump as the Republican presidential nominee. With almost equal certainty, Joe Biden beats Donald Trump head-to-head in a presidential election. It's already happened once, and there's nothing out there that makes that change. The only thing that Donald Trump has going for him, and we don't know what the future holds for even Donald Trump, but I would say in 18 months, what you see today with Donald Trump, you'll most likely see the same thing, although I'll say it's like an NFL quarterback. When they're done, they decline quickly. As you get old fast. Look at Joe Biden. Getting old fast, mentally, physically. 80 years old. When he speaks, you're waiting for a blunder or a mistake or saying the wrong country or something. Makes a lot of folks nervous. No, it's like a certainty that Trump's the Republican presidential nominee and almost an equal certainty that Joe Biden beats Trump. I don't make the rules. It's not what I want to happen or see happen or not, or I do. It's polls and what we've seen in the past. So I don't know what the incentive would be for the Biden administration to 86 Trump, because I'll tell you this, if Trump were to go away and DeSantis was the nominee, he might beat Joe Biden. He might beat Joe Biden. And if it was like a Chris Christie or something, might beat Joe Biden. I don't know if Donald Trump beats Joe Biden. The World Swimming Federation announces a trans solution to protect female athletes, an open category for transgender females and transgender males. They haven't come up with the specifics, but I don't know how anyone could be in disagreement on this, even transgender females. I feel you. I got no problem. You are a born male, yet feel compelled that you are female. More power to you. Brave and courageous to make the switch. Got no problem with that. Do what is best for you. But also, I think a transgender female has to recognize the obvious. They were born male. Maybe the wires are crossed and they're female and they got ripped off on the genetic package. But the genetic package is real. And men are factually, scientifically, generally speaking, more physical than females. That's just how it is. Don't make the rules. Don't make the facts. So I think any transgender male, no matter what kind of treatment or surgery they've had, transgender females should not be competing in college sports, Olympics, women's professional sports with other women. Transgender females, that they should be in their own category because they are genetically, physically superior to genetically born females. You had this swimmer at the college level, a lot of folks have heard about. He's like number 300 on the NCAA level. Wasn't even a top 2 or 3 swimmer on the men's team at the university. He was like on the bottom end of the men's team. Number 1 women, transgender female, number 1 female swimmer in American college. From back of the pack with the men to number 1. No, just come on, it's obvious. LSU, their first football practice for fall camp. In just 1 year, Brian Kelly has LSU poised for a potential breakout season. It's amazing. Got the most experienced, qualified quarterback in the entire Southeastern Conference. Got a lot of returning players, another great job in the transfer portal, another great recruiting class. Lots of first-year freshmen are going to contribute, play, start right away. Lots of great true freshmen that started and played last year will get a second year in. LSU, man, it's going to be exciting. LSU football. Tulane Greenway football. Picked to win the AAC. Picked to be number 1. Quarterbacks back. Lots of players back. They got some holes to fill, but Willie Fritz is up to recruiting. He uses the transfer portal when applicable. What an exciting college season, pro season. Saints and Carr and Peyton in Denver, and all the other storylines in college and pro. Yeah, you right. I guess I got to throw these 2 stories out. Just sickening. 100 block, Northwest 18th Street in Reserve. A Reserve couple starved their infant daughter to death, abusing their 13-month-old boy. Chevy LaFontaine, 31, Angel Taylor, 24, arrested. The 13-month-old son in state custody now, starving their infant daughter to death, and apparently no remorse. No, these types of people need to go away for a long, long time. Boy, quick time as a doctor. Boy, waste of an education, waste of a few years. I would imagine done being a doctor, if not forever, for decades. Dr. Andrew Matthews, 31 years old, doing his residency at Ochsner. This doctor arrested for using a hidden camera to record staffers in restrooms. All right, those are the two cruddy stories of the day. This is an interesting. Hyundai and Kia have a recall, and they have a concern. They want Hyundai and Kia vehicle owners to park their vehicles outside because of the threat of some fire hazard. I don't know if it's smart to park your Kia or Hyundai outside on the streets of New Orleans. The number one cars that are being stolen are Hyundais and Kias. Thank you, TikTok, for the directions on how to get it done. Wow. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday afternoon. Latrim, the global manufacturing giant. Way back in 1949, J.M. LePere, with his rubber boots on the dock, stepped on a shrimp. The shrimp squirted out. The peel stayed behind. The light bulb went off in his head. He went home. The old washing machine for clothes, the rubber wheels with the crank, the washing board. He adjusted the rubber wheels and the crank, and that was the first version of the shrimp peeling machine, the automatic shrimp peeling machine, the industry standard worldwide to this day. Created, invented right here in New Orleans, still manufactured for the worldwide market right here in New Orleans, in Harahan, in Elmwood. That shrimp peeling machine led to the all-plastic modular conveyor belt. The LePere stair, the alternating tread stair. And just this guy was a genius, J.M. LePere. His sons, Jay runs the business side. Robert, kind of a genius, a creative type like his dad. It is a family organization, New Orleans born, bred, and based. And they have explosive growth now going for like 25 straight years worldwide. That means jobs in Metro New Orleans. You East Bankers and West Bankers, Latrim is hiring at their Elmwood facility. You North Shore folks, Latrim is hiring at their I-12 facility. For a full listing of positions available, go to Latrim.com. Latrim spelled L-A-I-T-R-A-M, Latrim.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, let us do you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baton in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home. Producing tomorrow's talk radio today, Corey Johnson.
This is tomorrow's newspaper. Precisely. I already went further ahead into time to see what else happens.
Your View, Louisiana. That's Cox Channel 4 in New Orleans, Baton Rouge, and Lafayette. And live streaming at CoreyTalks.com.
Future. Unbelievable.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday afternoon. Young's Dry Cleaning has been with you since 1940. A New Orleans institution. Young'sDryCleaning.com. Young'sDryCleaning.com. If you missed the 4 o'clock hour, He's loud. He's brash. You Baton Rouge folks know him. Condon Uncensored Mornings on Eagle 98.1 FM. He's a New Orleans native, Chalmette guy. Yaddy De La Salle cat. We had him on talking about different stuff. Jeff Dorson joined us on the program. They rescued a horse today that had been neglected for 17 years. The owner just left it out in the pasture, and that was pretty much it. In the sun all the time, no shots, no vet care, no grooming. You've got to take care of the horse's teeth. You got to take care of the horse's hoofs. Just neglected. After 17 years, Jeff Dorson and his crew went down there with the sheriff to the owner's house and got the owner to relinquish the horse. And now they're taking care of this horse. Vet costs, getting the horse back to good shape. So in the next few weeks, month or so, the horse can get adopted out and enjoy the rest of its life after having a pretty tough 17 years. That's the kind of stuff Jeff does, but it requires money to get it done. So let's save this horse. Donate at humanela.org. humanela.org. Now, Jeff Dorson joined us to discuss that a little while ago. Former President Donald Trump arrested today in D.C., engaged in an effort to steal the 2020 presidential election, allegedly. That goes with two other indictments: New York, hush money; Miami, mishandling classified documents. World Swimming Federation announces a trans solution. Now, if you were saying a white solution or the black solution or the gay solution or something like that, the female solution, it would be insanely wrong. But when it comes to trans female athletes competing against natural-born females, there does need to be a trans female competing against female solution, because it is not fair. A male born male, a person born physically male that wants to transition over to female, I say more power to you. I've got no problem with it. People that are uncomfortable with it, don't get it, whatever, I hear you. Try to have some empathy, some sympathy. If you don't possess those things, cannot understand them, then don't have an opinion on it. I'm not comfortable. I embrace it. It's great. I'm a white heterosexual male. All three of those things, like I said the other day, beyond my control. If I were gay, I hope I'd be brave enough to come out early and embrace it. If I were born male like I am, but man, I'm female. Mentally, I'm female. I hope I'd be courageous enough to embrace it. And if it was such a strong feel that only transitioning over, did I feel normal and comfortable? I hope I'd be brave enough and courageous enough to do that. Who am I to tell other people how they want to live? Be like telling you how to dress. I just have a problem with transgender females wanting to compete against physically natural-born females on a competitive level in sports, because transgender females born physically male, no matter the surgeries or any kind of drugs taken, there's still a physical advantage over females naturally born. A physical advantage. Male over female, a physical advantage. Undeniable, scientific. There's no one's arguing this. So the World Swimming Federation announcing a trans solution. They'll have an open category for trans females, trans males to swim. Probably not against each other, I would imagine, because a transgender female would have an advantage over a transgender male swimming, because the transgender male was born female. Not as physical, generally speaking, as the average male, generally speaking. So that goes in the no-brainer category. I'm pro-transgender. You want to transition over? Go for it. I think it's brave and courageous. Who am I to tell you otherwise? But if you're a transgender female, you obviously have to recognize you were born physically male, and there is an advantage physically that you have over females. Really simple. A game changer 48 years ago today, August 7th, 1975, a game changer, transformative. Dave Dixon got it done. Governor John McKithen got it done. 48 years ago today, they opened the incredible Louisiana Superdome. What a building. Transformative for the entire downtown. From 1972 to 1987, that 15-year period, 25 high-rise buildings built from the ground up. Office buildings, hotels, Superdome. Transformative. Hey, Fausto's Italian Bistro is open till 9 tonight for dinner. Tomorrow night, Friday, Saturday night, they'll roll till 10 p.m. Lunch served tomorrow, too. Monday through Friday, lunch. Monday through Saturday night, dinner. That means dinner right now till 9 p.m. Some of the city's best Sicilian and Italian. Make it Fausto's Italian Bistro.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Interlocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Interlocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Interlocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore led us to you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville, the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line. Lebanon's Cafe.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
Since 1896, a true taste of New Orleans. Leidenheimer French bread.
The other day, just the other night, I got a to-go order. Had a little mini loaf of Leidenheimer French bread in the bag, some whipped butter. I cheated driving in the car. I broke off the end, the nose, and ate that. And it was great at room temperature. And then I got home and I stuck the rest of that little Leidenheimer mini loaf in the oven, heated it up, crispy on the outside, soft and hot on the inside. Then that whipped butter just melting right when it touched the bread. Pretty much knocked out that mini loaf with that butter. Boy, Good Leidenheimer, hot, piping hot French bread with butter. How good is that? Leidenheimer Baking Company still baking that French bread in the city of New Orleans. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday afternoon. Stay hydrated, people. It is hot out there. This guy's got a message for you, too. Hey, human beings, don't leave me outside. Don't jog with me. The hot pavement's hurting my paws. I want air conditioning like you. Good job, Blue Boy. Hey, we'll see you tomorrow, Fantasy Friday, straight up 4 o'clock, mañana.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers, Breitling time, 6 p.m.